put all sorts of chores. But I'll tell you now, there is nothing more important than should be on your list than saving this country. Because we are under attack. Make no mistake about that. Our ancestors had the advantage of seeing clearly who the enemy was. But our enemy is the enemy within. The enemy who's shrouded under the cloak of globalism, labels, virtue signalling, creating the malignant media working aside with the government. When a media no longer gives both sides of the story and tries to malign ordinary, decent, living Irish men and Irish women of era, when a malignant media does that, and they create these terms like far right, just because you want to ask a question about what is going on in your country, just because you're worried that the demographic of your town is in danger, is going to be changed overnight, just because your grandmother is worried about going to the shops that she might be attacked, she doesn't know who's after moving into the area. None of us do. We're not told. And why the silence around it? Can you blame anybody for being suspicious about who is coming into the town when it's done so covertly, when it's done with lack of transparency, when we are not told anything, and we see our good neighbours over in Newtown, Mount Kennedy, up in Coolock, we see the guards beating the hell out of people who have worked in this country all their lives. And this is how they're treated by our own so-called Garda Síochána. It is not good enough. And we need answers. And that is why it is so important to take to the streets. That is why it is so important to have your feet on the street. Because it sends a clear message to the tyrants in government, because that is what they have shown themselves to be. They are tyrants, and they are working not for the Irish people, not for the good of Ireland. They are working for their global masters. They have become bitches for Europe, and that is who they're answering to. We are now living in a corporatocracy where the corporates run the government, where Big Pharma runs the government, where Big Pharma runs the media and the corporates run the media. If we were living in a just society, if the media, like if you take example our main broadcaster, if they were genuinely objective, they would be showing our point of view, not trying to make us into far right and all other ridiculous labels, and then people listen to them and they believe them and they try to keep away from them, and that doesn't encourage them to come to protests because they think, oh, far right are going to be there. There's no such thing. I've been protesting for a good few years now, and the only people that I have ever met have been salt of the earth, decent people who care deeply about this country and who love this country. And I'll tell you, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is not the rants of a middle-aged woman. I'll be generous to myself there and say middle-aged. But it is not me ranting. Go into Dublin city centre. Go into Dublin. Dublin is not recognisable anymore. And I was up in Talbot Street the other day, a few of us were up there, and it would break your heart. It would break your heart to see how Ireland has changed. It is not recognisable anymore. We have to do something about it, because we are not being listened to. We have more questions than answers. And why are we not getting any answers? Why are we being treated like this? You've had, imagine the leader, so-called leader, hashtag not my Taoiseach, he is referring to the Irish people as that they're not homogenous, almost intimating that we're mongrels. And then you have his other sidekick, Harris, and he's making a mockery of people using the word unvetted. Well, I mean, that is the fact of the matter is that there are thousands and thousands of unvetted males, military-aged males, coming into this country. And we want to know what they're doing here. They're not here for a teddy bear's picnic, I'll tell you that. And it's all right to ask questions. It's all right, because if we keep going on the same trajectory as we are now, if we keep the same population influx, the same amount of immigrants that are coming into this country, in a few short years, Ireland will be gone. And it's that simple, folks. So keep protesting, keep your feet on the streets, support other communities as much as you can. The whole country is mobilising now, and we need to get this arrogant, deceptive government to start listening to the people who run this country, because it's us that have the power, not them, and they need matters put on them. And there's a rally in court tomorrow as well, 7th of June, and you know, you have friends or family, or even get down there yourself, because it's that important. We are at the 12th hour now, and what happens from now on, what you decide to do, the baton, Ireland's baton of its past, present and future, has fallen at your feet, because you now know what's happening. And it's up to you to become the media. It's up to you to become the citizens and the journalists in your community, in your family. It's up to you to wake people up, because once you know, and there's no going back, and that is the truth. And the media and the government don't want you to know the truth. And just to finish on this, last year, the EU Migration and Asylum Pact was signed, which means that we now have complete open borders. We haven't even seen the start of this yet. And they had an opt-out option. They had a legitimate opt-out option. And they didn't take it. With one stroke of a pen, they sold us down the Swanee. So take to the streets, folks. Get people out. This is so important what we do from now on, because when it's gone, there is no going back for us. So be part of Ireland says no, West Wicklow says no, and Blessington sure as hell says no. Thank you. There I do.
Well done.